Alright guys, here it is the following day actually. So this is where I left off. Got the floor in place, not welded yet. As you can see, we got a few fitment issues, which is to be expected. Not really worried about that. Cut all the rust out of the firewall. A lot more metal's been cut out than I was hoping, but no surprise there. And I still gotta make a patch piece for there. And I had no idea all this rust was up here. But yet again, projects like these are full of surprises. I also cut this out. Not too bad under here. The pinch weld is gone. So I'm gonna figure something out about that. There's a fender right there. I repaired that recently. So yeah, all this down here is okay. But again, by the pinch weld, all that's gone. So I gotta figure something out with this. Maybe just weld a tab all the way down. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Just cut that pinch weld off altogether and just weld a piece of flat stock underneath, go horizontal. I think that would be the best way to go. A little bit, or if I ever run bigger wheels, I might just cut it up here along this body line. I'm trying to keep this. I hate to cut this. It's still in relatively good shape. Back here, same thing. But I mean, that's easy. So, but the rest of the quarter's solid. And luckily, driver's side is not nearly as bad. It's almost perfect over here until you get back here. But that'll be an easy patch job. And I don't see any major rust over here. All this looks okay, except for right here. Floor, however, is a different story. That's how much I cut out. Again, way bigger than I expected. But luckily I have a bunch of metal laying around. So I'm just gonna get a flat piece of stainless steel and massage it to fit. And then we should be good after that. I cut the frame rail off on this side. Still got that piece. I'm gonna do the same thing over there. I'm gonna cut the frame rail completely off. I'm getting new frame rails. On Z-Car Depot, they have some. And I think eBay has some too for a good price. And I also need to find seat brackets for the passenger side. This side's good. This back one's okay. I gotta fix that part decided to rust out. But all this up here looks good. But I'm not getting my hopes up yet. So, knock on metal. Alright, just a quick update. Show you what I did. Everything's all welded up. Needs to be grinded down, of course. But there's that patch job. Weld over here is not perfect. I couldn't get the grinder in there to clean all that goop off. But over here, it's relatively decent. Did a spot weld along the side here. So, yeah, it looks really good. Firewall is all fixed. Looking really good. Solid too. I don't even have the frame rail in yet. I'm gonna have to do those last. But, yeah, this is not really a how-to video. I'm just showing you guys my progress. If you need a how-to video, there's plenty of videos on YouTube for that. So here's the other side. I'm gonna go ahead and get this patched up. But for now, I'm gonna get the overall shape cut out and then get it tacked in place. There's some leftover floorboard right there. I gotta cut off the frame rail. I could cut the frame rail back, but we'll see. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, coming along pretty good. Got it all tacked in place. There's a little dip in the floor right here, so I just took my mallet, I massaged it inch by inch until it lined up with the existing floor. Got a little bit of a gap right here. Need to figure out what I'm gonna do with that. Along here, looks really good. I found some more rust right there, so I'm gonna do a small patch right there. And up here, I'm gonna cut it and notch it so it sits flush. I'm gonna fully weld that. Up here is ready to go. I'm gonna fully weld that. So I'm just gonna start with this side, finish this side, finish all this, and then I'm gonna patch that. And then, well, I might do that last. And I'm gonna do this part next. So, all right, here we go. Looking beautiful, somewhat. And grind the welds down. I like to get the underneath side too eventually, but I need a lift for that. So I'm not gonna waste looking. Got that piece filled in. I'm gonna blend it. I'm also gonna grind the other side. Would you look at that? Spreading like wildfire. All right, this is gonna be fun. All right, here's that patch all welded up. Pardon the mess. Here's that little piece in the back that was rusted. And I've cut the seat bracket out. It's the only way to get to it. And I might cut this one out too, even though there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm not planning on using the original seats, considering they're a little too far gone. So, yeah, that's that. Underneath, not too bad. Again, I'll be welding up underneath here in the near future. So, when time comes for that. And I got this cut out. Those are the only rusted spots. Here's my samples. Swiss cheese. Yeah, it's come along pretty well. But I think I'm gonna call it a night. It's 8 o'clock. Mosquitoes are bad. The sun's going down. But yeah, I made a lot of progress today. I'm happy with how everything's turning out. That side. So, all right, we'll resume this in the morning. All right, got the dog leg cut out. So this is what we're working with. Cut just enough of the rust out. Seems like a good welding surface. Seems okay inside of here. Thank God. Don't have to do any interior reinforcements. That's one thing about this car. It seems rusty on the outside, but the inside structure is okay. Back here is fine. But you also got whatever the hell this stuff is. Like some sort of seam sealer. Freaking gross. That's probably why it rusted. It goes all the way back there. I'm gonna clean this up, clean this edge. I'm gonna grind the pinch weld down. I'm gonna make a fresh piece that goes on here. So it shouldn't be too difficult. I left the edge here. I'm just gonna weld a crown and then grind it off. It's easier to do it that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. So I cut me a little bigger piece and I put a slight curve in it. So when I go to weld it, it'll fit right up and it lines up with the contour nicely. So before I weld it from the bottom, but I think now with the way it's set up, I might go ahead and tack it from the top. That'll probably be best, and then I'll just inch my way down and get to line up very smoothly. Down here, got the body line to fit, so I think it's gonna look really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it tacked up, and I'll show you guys the rest once I'm done. All right, here it is all tacked up. Tack's looking good. Corner's looking good. Under here looking good. All lined up really nicely. Very happy with how this turned out. Up there, very straight. Plus the metal's still hot, so it'll warp back out a little bit. But I'm happy. A lot better than what it was. All right, here's what we got so far. Pardon the rust. Had to wait for the weather to pass over. But as you can see, we got a much bigger hole. There's more rust than I thought. So it's usually how it goes. So I got this piece cut like that. I'm gonna add a third piece there. It's really not the best way to do it, but originally this was attached to this, and then this dog leg overlapped and it tack welded here. You see the seam right about there, but I'm gonna body fill all this and weld it in so it's smooth. You're not gonna see it anyway, but I do want this. Still got some structural integrity left, so I want to repurpose it. So I'm just gonna tack it up like that. Seems to line up pretty good. Then I'll do this last piece. I'm gonna grind it all smooth, and let's just hope for the best. These damn mosquitoes are killing me, so I better go ahead and get this done. Not bad, looks pretty good. Got the straight edge hooked up, pretty damn close. Might massage this out a little bit. Use the other piece in the morning, it's getting late. And I gotta sand this down. It's not perfect, just put a little body filler on it. Plus I'm not done grinding it down yet either. I got this all welded up together. So I'm gonna grind it smooth so when I put the other plate on there, it's gonna line up nice and flush. So up here, fits flush up here, but not quite down here. So still got some work to do, but the side's coming along pretty well. I'm overall happy with how it's turning out. So we'll resume this tomorrow. Okay, got that all bondoed up, ready to go. Needs to be sanded. I need to get some sandpaper. All I have is 80 grit. Got the pinch weld cut off. Looks better without it, I think. I still need to do up here, but I'll do that at a later time. Got all the medallion holes welded up. I'm not putting the 280 fender decal back on. I'm just gonna have that one. I'm gonna leave that one, but the rest of them can go. As far as the rub trim, I'm not putting that back on either. So I'm just gonna bondo up these holes. I already got the fender down. Got all the holes welded up. Back here, I gotta do some dent work, as you can see. So not much bondoing I can do back here. Other side, it's coming along pretty good. Got all the rust, well, most of it cut out. Got this cut out. That's what came off. You can see, not much left. Over here, I need to get the whole rocker panel. I was gonna patch it. I'm starting to think it's not worth it. Because of this, it's still rusted underneath here. And by the time I patch all this, and I gotta make the reinforcement that goes behind the fender back here the same way. Reinforcement's still here, but I still gotta do all this. I might as well just do the whole rocker. There's one on eBay for, I think it's like $150. Storage jam's not bad. It's pitted pretty bad. I was trying to avoid redoing the pinch welds, but I might not have a choice. But we'll see. I'll do some brainstorming. Try and keep this as budget friendly as possible. But so far, it's not working out that way. I got this cut out. It was also rusted. Where's the piece for that? I don't see it. But yeah, it kind of rusted in a weird spot. There's like a little brace back here. Water collected over the years, I'm assuming. But this actually came off the rocker panel. It was just some extra metal left over. And it's the same gauge, just makes it even better. Even the same color too. But anyway, just there's a little tiny body line right here. I just made a little crease to follow that body line. I'm gonna weld it up and I'm gonna grind it as smooth as possible. I'm trying to use as minimal Bondo on here as possible. I want to keep this thing as real as possible. But I'm gonna go ahead and toy with this for a little bit, get it welded in smooth, and hopefully I got some good results to show you guys when I'm done. All right, looking pretty good. Try to line up that body line as best I could. I wish I could say I don't need Bondo, but I'm definitely gonna need some. Got it pretty damn close though. This, pretty damn straight. Go ahead and get some Bondo applied to this thing, and then that should be it for today. All right, Bondo is applied. Very light coat. I should have smoothed this out a little better, but the stuff is drying quick. Got all the rivet holes Bondoed up, and come back, sand it another day. And one more thing, forgot to tell you guys. I cut this out, all the rust, well, most of it. So, this was flopping earlier. Every time I open it, the sheet metal would flex. So I might even add some reinforcement in here before I close it back up. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do yet. Oh, whoops, I forgot about that. I also got to weld these up, but that's not my top priority right now. Other side, all Bondoed up. She's a beaut, to some people's perspective. But yeah. Mock the fender back up just so it looks pretty. All right, now I'm working on the back. Got this spare tire well taken out. As you see, there are remains of it over here. I started patching it, but it didn't turn out as good as I thought. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it out completely. And I don't know if I'm gonna get another one and weld it back in. I thought I was taking a flat piece of sheet metal and just covering the whole thing, because I'm not going to keep a spare tire in here. So I just think, plus it'll be easier and cheaper. So I think a new spare tire well, brand new on eBay, is like 400 bucks, and that's the cheapest one I could find so far. So I figured just putting some thick sheet metal in here will be more cost effective. I mean, I'm not worried about it being original. Like, nothing else on here is original. As I go on, I have to replace more and more stuff anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this piece cut out. Probably not gonna do that today, it's getting late, but we have come a long way. I gotta cut this sound detonation out so it doesn't catch fire when I weld it. I gotta clean the surface a little bit, but overall it's turning out pretty nice. I need to cut this off. This held the spare tire jack, the original one, which I don't have. I haven't had it since I bought the car, so it's long gone. So yeah, that can come out, and yeah, I'm making good progress. Still some things left to do. Still gotta do this rocker. I got the part for it, and I also got the frame rails. Got the frame rails ready to go, and this is the new rocker panel. I can get to that as soon as I can get to the spare tire weld, and the floor will be pretty much done, except for the underneath part, which I'll do that last probably. So, looking pretty good. I still got to finish up the firewall on the engine bay side, but I'll get to that at a later date as well. So, all right, carry on. All right, here it is next day. So we got a big ass hole in the floor now. Still got to clean all this up. Here's the spare tire well. It's clearly seen better days. So my original plan was to use this. This is the top of a oil drum, and I cut the top off to make a fire barrel out of it. Anyway, I was going to use that, but it is way too small. As you guys can see, doesn't even come close. So I'll find something else for that. And then I thought about using this bucket as a template, and that's also too small. So the next best thing would be to use this, which probably isn't the best template to use either, considering it's all mauled up from me removing it. But this is the metal I'm using. I believe it's 16 gauge, pretty thick stuff. I'm just gonna cut it out once I get my template. I should have enough material. I'm trying to use all this metal up before it starts rusting out, which is already pitting in a few areas. I didn't even have this that long, so I figured I'd put it to good use. So I also gotta clean this out first before I get it welded in. I'm not gonna spot weld it like they did in the factory. I'm just gonna stitch weld it on the top side and go underneath and stitch weld it here all around. So it'll give it some extra strength. But all right, less yakking, more zapping. Let's get to it. All right, made my mark. And I chiseled it out with the cutting disc. I just made a gouge marking. I didn't cut it completely through yet, but gave myself a lot extra just in case, because you can always cut more off, but you can never cut less back. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep cutting away at it. I don't think I need that guy anymore, but yeah, it's coming along pretty good, so sweet. All right, got the piece just mocked up. I haven't sanded the edges down yet, but I need to. It seems to overlap pretty good. I still gotta clearance this piece out of the way, but overall it's fitting pretty good. Happy with the way it turned out. It's not a perfect circle, obviously, but did the best I could. But yeah, I'm hoping I can get it welded today. Not super important, but it'd be kind of nice because I don't want snakes getting in here and making a nest in this thing. And speaking of, I think it's time for some more mothballs. These things were awesome. They lasted a long time. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get paint ground down, the rust ground down, and get the edges cleaned up so I don't cut myself. I gotta get this rubber stuff peeled up so it doesn't melt and catch fire. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to it, then we'll be right back. I need that piece. All right, piece is out of the way. Sweet. All right, got the new floor pan just dry fitted in place. Just make sure it mocks up around the edges nice. Everything seems to line up. Got plenty of overlap all the way around. So I think we're ready for welding. All right, got Godzilla locked in place. Spaced out my welds evenly, or as best I could anyway, but it's not solid. It's not going anywhere, that's for damn sure. I'm gonna get some seam sealer, go around the edge, but I'm not gonna do that yet because I want to weld the underneath side as well. I'll probably do that when I do the frame rails, but I'm gonna do the underneath part last. I want to weld both sides, top and bottom, just so it gives it extra strength. But so that's done, and I'm glad too because I am sweating my ass off being behind this welder all damn day. So yeah, happy with the way it turned out. So just let this cool down, and you check under here, make sure no leaves or no undercarriage coatings on fire, and it looks pretty legit to me. So yeah, I think we can call it a day. So all right, we'll resume this next time. All right, perfect. So we can go ahead and check that off our list, and we'll come back to this some other time. So all right, calling it a day.